Herrera, live from the Capsule. Welcome back. Welcome back. I appreciate you guys very much. Anybody checking in? I'm going to let everybody get on in here. I'm going to be doing a little bit of drawing while I talk today. The last few times, I just been just spitting on here and just like talking, and then kind of breaking it down with the 500 or bus and doing like the shorts with that. But man, I figured I'd do a little bit of drawing just to kind of slow down my thought process and kind of give it a different go. In today's video, I'm talking about the saying another day another dollar. I keep hearing that, and it just seems to be like something that keeps reiterating itself in my environment. And every time someone says that, my interpretation is like it's not another day another dollar. It's another day another opportunity to move the needle in the right direction, in the direction of your North Star. Everybody's slightly different. You know what I mean? You have to figure out what the North Star is to you, and if the time and effort that you're putting in is worth the effort, you know? So in turn, it does have some monetary value, because that's kind of how we're measuring things nowadays. You know, you measure things either through money and or how much time it gives you, I guess. But you know, I've said this before, you're either going to pay with time, or you're going to pay with money, or you're going to pay with both. So when you're putting your efforts in, and you're given that next day, that next opportunity to do something with the time, with the health, with the money, are you putting it in the right direction? Are you putting it in the right vehicle to get to where you need to be? And if you're not, start acting like it, you know? Make a deal with yourself if it's something that you have to do. You know, those conversations are something that have led me to kind of get where I'm at. And I'm like, I always hit people with like the disclaimer that I'm not perfect by any means. If anything, because I pay attention to myself more than anything, and I self-reflect a lot. You know, for a large part of my career, I worked in front of a mirror. I was a barber for many years. So, you know, like that self-reflection, subconsciously, you're constantly looking at yourself and then like comparing yourself to everything that's around you. I'm one of the people that I believe I have the most flaws, because I'm what I pay attention to the most. So I'm constantly trying to fix that problem. But you got to kind of make a deal with yourself sometimes, you know. It goes back to the self-awareness and like knowing what the things are that are the enemy within you, and become, you know, and getting close enough. Get close enough to your enemies, shake the hand. So yeah, I appreciate that very much. Anybody that's in the chat, haters as well, feel free to comment down below. So, you know, make a deal with yourself, bring that enemy close, you know, to be actually super in tune with the things that are holding you back. Not everyone is going to be able to do that right off the rip, but that's where the honesty comes into play. You gotta kind of acknowledge the demons, find out what it is exactly that's holding you back, bring them close enough where you can kind of shake the hand, and then go ahead and get rid of them. Sometimes you got to bring that enemy real close so you can shank them up. You know what I mean? But those demons are yours. Those demons are yours. They're not everybody else's. Just don't think that because you have an issue or you have a problem, everybody else is dealing with the same problem. They may have the same reaction to the problem if they were to come across it, but it doesn't mean that they're dealing with that in the right now. Once again, this being the live journal of me just going live on here consistently is letting me, because I kind of re-listen to my own convos. So then it kind of tells me where I'm narrowing in, where I'm not narrowing in, and things of that nature. But today, right now, I was going to draw a compass, but I ended up going to the page where there's a piñata, and it kind of goes in the same thing. Like, you know, it always goes back to the same thing I'm talking about. It's all about relativity. And in the piñata, you know, it's not the compass and it's not the North Star, but it's about you, you know, when you're trying to hit that piñata, they're doing it blindfolded, right? They're doing it blindfolded initially, and you're kind of just finding your way. You're kind of finding your way. And then once you find that sweet spot, That's where you have to hit. And even though you're not physically seeing it with your own eyes, your other senses allow you to kind of deal with that, right? I I don't know what it is that's compelling me to constantly jump on here. I've been on social media for many years already. I have many Facebook posts that come back and it showed me kind of where I was thinking of many years ago. Staying off the grid. Staying off the grid, whenever you put a profile picture of yourself, feel free to chat again so I can see you. Okay. So I feel like for some reason, I don't know exactly how or why this is happening, but it feels like I'm more in tune with the me sharing on here. Like it's almost starting to develop a pattern or starting to develop a habit where if I'm not coming on here and spilling my guts a little bit and or showing you some of the drawing that I'm doing, it's almost feeling like I'm missing something, and subconsciously maybe I'm feeling like there's a losing season coming. Like I've been unaffected for too long. Seeing everything that's going on around me. I've had people that are very close to me recently that are going through really tough times. By no means of their own. Just nature's way of kind of dealing with stuff. You always hear people that are religious and or have been religious for their whole life. Like, why could God allow this to happen or something like that? Nobody's got the answers. So those are questions that probably don't need to be asked in a grand format. But me seeing all that around me, and then me living a life that I'm super happy with, and everybody around, everybody in my immediate family, and when I say that, I'm talking about like my wife and my couple of kids, and then also my career and stuff like that has been going pretty smooth for a while now. It would be I think very naive of me, and then at the same time very foolish of me as well, to think that something can't happen to me. So maybe subconsciously this is kind of what I'm doing. I'm like prepping. I'm prepping in the background, so when those situations do arise, I do have the things and the tools that I need to battle these things. What am I building? Am I building a fort to save myself from the weather that's to come in the future? Am I building a moat to make myself irreplaceable? Those are the questions that I'm asking myself consistently, to make sure that all my efforts are going in the right direction. And like I said, a lot of this stuff that is happening nowadays, as far as me coming on here and just dropping whatever it is that's on my mind. I take a few notes. I was also speaking about finding your way a couple of videos ago. I've done the same kind of thing for the last 3 or 4 times, where when I go to the gym or I work out or I go for those walks, I listen to the same thing, and it puts me in the same mind state. It kind of puts me in that extraction phase where I'm starting to think things through, and I'm pulling all of these ideas from it. And the message to the future moments that may come, those that haven't arisen yet, those that I'm even making up in my own mind, is that I'm prepping for them. I am not. As I said before in another video as well, I'm not going to put my head in the sand and pull it back and then hope that everything is the same. I have no one else to convince. I've already convinced myself of this. So there's nothing left to do but to actually put the action into play, right? And continue to do the things that I'm doing, and come on here and maybe get a little bit of different perspective on everybody else that's kind of jumping on here, people that are commenting in the chat. You can kind of see as well. This is something else. I spoke about this today. I was at the gym, and there's a guy, I've spoken to him a couple of times. His name is Dorian. Big shout out to Dorian. If you're watching this at any given time, I appreciate you very much, my friend. And we were talking, we always kind of talk the same thing. Every time we've spoken, he talks about frequency. He talks about, being positive, about an open and a closed mind, about human interaction, and all these things. And I told him, and I'm like, man, it almost seems like you kind of have to walk the path to acknowledge who else has walked in the path, right? Same thing with frequency. Like, just because I guess, and I couldn't say this for myself, am I giving off that frequency? But, this guy zeroed in on me. One time I want to say maybe I had asked him, like, hey, are you using this or something like that? And then that sparked that conversation. And ever since then, whenever he sees me, whenever I see him, it's kind of, we're off to the same kind of thing. But interacting with people, getting different perspectives on things. I get a lot of it through here, as much as, and that's probably another reason why I keep revisiting the YouTube stream, because I'm getting more engagement here than I've ever gotten on any of the other platforms that I've ever been on. Most of the other platforms that I've ever been on have been just like, boom, like, here's the work that I do. Hey, here's this tattoo that I did. Hey, here's these sneakers that I have. It's never been like this type of format where I'm like speaking to a camera. I'm speaking my thoughts. And that's basically it. So I think because more showing my personality, showing my thought process, I'm still showing art and everything else that comes along with it, because this channel started as an art channel and still is an art channel. It's all about how everything is hyper relative. I'm starting to act more like it. I'm starting to act more like this is checking off a lot of the boxes that I've been looking for, which is like, bringing me an online presence, building a community of like-minded individuals, seeing other people's thoughts, and you can see, and even if you look in the chat as well, and that's another thing that I'm starting to realize. The people that don't want to be seen, those are the guys that throw the rocks. Do you know what I mean? It's always the no face characters that are out throwing hate in the chat. Those are the guys that are going to give you the negative comments. Those are the guys that are going to try to rain on your parade, because they're not happy with themselves. Hence why they don't have a picture of themselves up. You know what I mean? They're not happy with what they've been given and or the life that they're living. So with that being said, what can they do to get some type of movement? They want to make somebody else move. They can't even move themselves. Do you know what I mean? They can't put themselves in a position to win, which is kind of like what we've spoken about time and time again. Day in and day out. Another day, another dollar. Another day to put yourself in a position for when you look at yourself, you admire yourself and the things that you're doing, and what else would you want to do in the future, right? Gaia, can you do me a huge favor and get Mike out of here, please? I asked everyone to stay out of the room, but nobody cares, right? So with that being said, that shows me a lot about people in general, right? Because you'll see that. Pardon me 1 second, guys. Give me one moment. I appreciate you guys for holding on for just 1 minute. All right. So those are the things that happen when you have family, man. You can't control everything. You try to put things into play, but you kind of have to. Sometimes you're against the ropes and you got to bounce back. My wife is trying to rest. She just came home from work not too long ago, and so then I asked my daughter to watch Micah, and once she gets on the iPad, she's completely cooked. She's not paying attention to anything in particular. But I'm trying to once again, going back to the subject we were talking about. Another day, another dollar. So another day, another opportunity. Work on yourself first. Turn it around. look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, am I doing everything in my power to create the person that I feel like I should be? And this isn't for everybody, because I know that there's going to be people that hear this and they're going to be like, what is he talking about? This isn't for you. This frequency isn't for you. This message isn't for you. And that's another thing that you have to understand, and that I've come to terms with. And for a long time, I kind of had that in the back of my mind. Like I kind of didn't like when someone didn't like me. Like if someone said, "Oh, I don't really like that guy" or whatever, I'd always want to be like, "Hey, why doesn't that person like me? I've never done anything to them." I've matured past that. I've leveled up past that frequency. I've realized that, you know, as good as a poke bowl is, not everybody likes poke bowls. As good as a steak and cheese sub is, not everybody likes a steak and cheese sub. So, with that being said, you have to come to terms with, and I'm glad that I have come to terms with, just because you're putting your best self first, just because you're trying to help people, just because you're trying to be the best in your profession, just because you're trying to be physically fit, just because you're trying to be a great family man, just because you're trying to rebuild your community and or people around you, doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you. There's going to be people that don't like you because they see what they're missing in them in you. They see and they're like, how come this fucking guy? And that happens to me. I'll look at someone and I'm like, how did this guy fucking figure it out? Or how did this person figure it out? And it's more often than not, for me, at least from how I'm feeling about it, I'm not really hating, but I have that question. But there's a lot of people that are a lot more malicious than I am and that are hating. They get bothered by that. That, something as simple as you telling them, like, hey, you want to get better at doing calligraphy, you want to get better at doing letterings, do letters every day. Take 20 minutes out of your day every day and study letters and study the backbone of the letters and how they all resemble each other and where did that come from and where did these styles come from, and buy yourself a book that makes you kind of go back to the basics of it so you can really understand. Yeah, sure, logically speaking, but most people aren't going to do that. Most people are going to try to learn it on their own or do it on their own or watch a couple YouTube videos, and they'll have the inspiration, the motivation for a couple of weeks, and then it all goes by the wayside. So once again, circling back to the topic of the video, another day, another dollar. Well, yeah, sure, because a lot of the things that you're doing nowadays, you are trading time, effort, and a lot of time, dignity for money nowadays. You see a lot of people doing crazy stuff online for money. Just not too long ago, I watch a lot of YouTube, and more often than not, I'm just trying to get better at talking on camera and distributing and kind of seeing what it is that's going to help my channel along. But because YouTube is what YouTube is, and because social media is what social media is, and the algorithm is what the algorithm is, it feeds me certain things. And I seen that, like, there was a lot of people that were doing TikTok, and they were the entertainment basis of TikTok, which is people just doing like crazy stuff and jokes, and I hate to say this because that in itself is a talent. We've had comedians and people that entertain on camera for many years, but I think it's safe to say that a lot of and a lot of people would probably agree with me. Not all, but a lot of people would agree with me that a lot of stuff is crap. You know what I mean? It's just like you doing something stupid that somebody else did and hoping that it takes off. And for a while there, TikTok, I guess, was rewarding this. They were paying big dollars for views on people's stuff, and but the majority of it was like no substance. You know what I mean? It'll give you a good laugh or whatever, but it's not something you're gonna circle back to and like learn something from. Or you're just kind of getting a laugh, But with that being said, I believe that I forget what my train of thought was, but just doing stuff just to do it. Do you know what I mean? You're just doing stuff because you think you're going to get paid to do this, as opposed to actually building something within yourself, developing a skill set. And the social media stuff, I've never discredited in it in that way, where there was people that made money online using social media and or driving traffic to their business. I've never been the guy that like, oh, that's stupid. No, they learned the tool before I did. They were able to leverage that tool, and good for them. For those that understood the assignment early on, where it was like, hey, I'm going to come on here, I'm going to provide value, I'm going to show people why they should interact with me over my competitors. And once I get them in the door, or once I get them to buy from me, or once I get them to comment on my stuff, that's when I really double down. And or like if you're doing a service, you give them the real client experience. On top of that, you're this big entity on social media, so you're almost sealing that fate for the review that they're going to give you, just because they were impressed with what they seen, and then when they showed up, it was just as good. So again, and take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Something as simple as you waking up to look for your North Star, make a move, at least one, make one move a day that's going to move the needle in the right direction. One move a day. And if any of it that has happened in my life is any truth in the big realm of reality, and on this big rock that we live, is that once you start doing that one thing over and over and over again, you're gonna want to start doing two, because you're gonna start reaping the benefits of that one thing and seeing like, oh damn, all I did was this, and I did this for 10 days and it got reaped me these benefits. Let me add this onto it, right? And again, to make a deal with yourself to keep those demons close to you, and keep them close to you so you can study them, find out how they tick, how they move, why they make you feel so good, and then diminish them. You know what I mean? Little by little. A lot of people can do it cold turkey. A lot of people can get rid of bad habits cold turkey. I'm one of those guys that I can't. You know what I mean? I wean myself off of most things. But once I wean myself on and or off of something, if I do it long enough, it just goes away. The simple fact that I have had the true desire, and this is something else that we were talking about, me and Dorian today, and I'm kind of a little bit all over the place, and I took some notes and stuff, but it almost seems like I got to do it a little bit more raw. You know what I mean? Because when I start taking notes, it almost like it's starting, it's making me talk in order, where that's really not my style of talking. Really my style of talking is going off the cuff, doing it while I draw. I use drawing to slow down my thought process and give me a little bit of time to breathe in between statements and things like that. It gives me time to think a little bit while we're doing these things. But yeah, I would say there's definitely a reason, and I'm not gonna go wizardry and go like too far off the beaten path when we talk about spirituality or anything like that. But yes, I feel like subconsciously, me tuning in, documenting, drawing more, seeing kind of what this all does, reading people's comments, asking people to with my calls to action to kind of drop comments, spreading these videos across all of my socials. I've been putting them on TikTok, I put them on my Instagram feed, I put them on my Facebook, and I put them on my Snapchat. I'm gonna start going in on LinkedIn shortly, but but it's almost like I'm accepting the challenge. I'm accepting the challenge to start something new. Again, circling back to that one video that I dropped not too long ago, that it's not hard, it's just new. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to even, arrange and or decorate this office so it becomes more like a YouTube studio. But I'm going to later on. I'm going to go to Home Depot, and I seen some stuff. I have this Murphy bed behind me. I don't know if you guys have ever see these doors right here. These doors are like a bed that comes down. This is my home office, right? And I've thought about putting like some paneling across that, just so it looks a little cooler. You know what I mean? Maybe putting some lights up here, so it kind of gives that. You guys have seen that, before, where you put like lights here and it kind of lights up or whatever. But I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's not going to be easy to maybe get some of the results that I'm looking for within the platform. What is it exactly that I am looking for? I couldn't even tell you. When I started the YouTube channel many moons ago, like I spoke about before, it was all about the car and the capsule. The car was the capsule, right? And then the capsule turned into something else. The capsule turned into a different type of vehicle. And now when you talk to me about the capsule is just basically the capsule that I'm living in. And I'm reflecting everything off of my understanding, everything that I'm kind of letting in. I'm just kind of regurgitating it and putting it out through my filter. I have nobody left to convince. I don't have to convince anybody. I've already convinced myself that this is kind of the path that I'm going to take. I'm going to build strong routine. So that routine, I can put the things in place in that routine that I feel are going to give me the most bang for my buck as far as my time goes. And hopefully, while I'm doing that, doors will open up for me, epiphanies will happen, and the goal right now would be to build the fort, to build the protection, to build the knowledge encyclopedia to deal with all the problems that are either in my life now and that will arise in the future. Because we all know that as my mom would say, enjoy the good times because the bad times show up uninvited. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? You got to enjoy the good times. So when the bad times show up, you're ready for them. You have that head on a pivot throughout the whole time that things have been good. Keep building, keep building the fort. And I also want to develop a moat. I want to develop a moat, and the moat being something that makes me irreplaceable. In what shape, form, or fashion will that be? Hopefully in all of the things that I'm involved in. Hopefully I will become irreplaceable in my design work, my perspective on composition, and my tattooing. Hopefully I will be irreplaceable in being a dad, being a husband, being a family man, being a pillar in my extended family. Hopefully I will gain the reputation within my family to be like the young brother that, even though it seems as if he doesn't know much, the reality is that he's more experienced than most. And those that know me know what I'm talking about. Know that I've worn many hats. I've lived in many cities. I've done a lot, and I've sat on my hands for times as well. Sometimes by choice, sometimes not so much. But with that being said, I'm gonna kind of get back to this pinata, guys, and again, reiteration of this video. Reiteration of this video is when you're giving another opportunity, when that opportunity rises, take advantage of it. You don't know when you're gonna get another one. Don't take things for granted. Don't take that you woke up today for granted, because like everybody wakes up, and I've been waking up my whole life, but there's plenty of people that didn't wake up. I urge you to look at the obituaries in your hometown or your home city today and see how many people passed that didn't think that they were getting out of here. They didn't think today was going to be the day. And it sounds morbid or whatever, but it's the truth. Find the North Star. Build that information highway. Build the moat. Be the bridge. Be the bridge, and circle back to the things that that need attention. Circle back to those things that that need attention. because you being honest with yourself is something that you're never going to regret. You being dishonest with yourself is something that you're going to regret. I can almost guarantee that. I can almost guarantee that if a lot of the times when I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from things in my life. Just because you ignore them doesn't mean they disappear. More often than not, when you ignore something, it's just building in the background, and then when you see it again, it's about 6 times bigger, and you're like, shit, I should have took care of this. I should have nipped this in the bud back then. But that's hindsight. It's 2020, and that's tons of people. That's the majority of people. Me and my co-workers always say that. I speak to other people about this. Every time you see a high profile name or like a celebrity or something like that, that for whatever reason, they put their hand in the cookie jar one too many times. You see, when they open those closets, they got skeletons in their closet as well. Everybody's got their demons. Everybody got their shit that they're worrying about, that they're dealing with. I just urge everyone that's on here to find what it is exactly that yours is, so you can actually work on that. So you can use the time that's gifted to you, aka your day, aka your life, to deal with those issues and actually make yourself happy. If you're happy, again, like I said, I'm not speaking to you. We're on a different frequency. If you're 100% content where you're at and you're looking at me like, man, I'm glad I'm not that guy, and I'm glad I'm not fully tattooed and have time to do YouTube videos, then I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to everybody that's chiming in on my channel that wants to hear my mind on video. In today's message was, again, going back and circling back to taking advantage of every opportunity that's given to you. And the one that a lot of people don't see and overlook is the waking up every day. Another day, another dollar. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys very much. I am going to kind of quiet down for just like the last, couple few minutes. And I'm going to kind of try to wrap this piñata up. If there's anybody that has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'll be looking over every so often. But right now, I'm just finishing up this piñata. All right, guys? It was a pleasure to be on here today. Like I said before, if anybody has anything to say and anything to give me as a pointer, anything that they'd like to see, I still owe. I'm not 100% sure if anybody remembers who it was that did it, and or if that was you. Feel free to leave a comment in the chat, like and subscribe, turn your notifications on, but also leave a message about who it was that was asking me for the white blue-eyed dragon. Someone had asked me for that, and this was, I'm going to go ahead and say at least a month or two ago. Someone asked that for me because I was like, oh, tell me what to draw. And someone said that, and that's something that has stayed with me, because I think that would be like a really cool design. Just, it like in my mind, I can see it. The blue-eyed dragon, I can see it. And another thing, guys, something else that I kind of want to touch on is don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged by those trying to move you off your pivot. Don't be discouraged by those that are throwing shade at you, because all in all, the majority of the times, the guy DDG said it. There's a rapper slash streamer, right? I don't even, the only song that I've ever heard of his, to keep it 100 with you, is one he has with Blueface, and I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not trying to lie and like trying to fuzz somebody up and or either talk down on them and or give them merit to something that I'm not familiar with. But I've heard two songs from him. One with Blueface. His guy's name is DDG. He has a stream. He streams on like Twitch, and I want to say he has. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say he has a baby with the girl that was in the last Little Mermaid. When they brought the ethnic girl on, I want to say that's like his baby mom's or whatever. But so this guy's in the celebrity field, right? And and then he has another song with Gunna, which is one of my favorite rappers. Believe it or not, a lot of the times when I'm listening and or getting inspired, it's Gunna that's rapping, right? And he sat down. They had this thing. It was called Streamer University or Streamer Awards or something like that, where like all the best streamers were like called up and everybody got to and everybody got to everybody basically everybody got to give their opinions on like streaming and stuff like that or whatever, right? And one thing, he sat down with a group of guys or a group of individuals that were streamers, and they kind of go there to almost like when I was really early into tattooing, I would go to the conventions and like take seminars and try to rub shoulders with people that were already in the industry and already doing their thing, right? And one thing that he said, and that shit like made sense. That shit made mad sense. And I've always been that dude because I've never been a hater. I've never been that guy. I've never seen somebody else and got upset because of the position that they were in. Like they obviously did what I didn't fucking do. So that's why they got that. The guy that's doing 30 years, the reason why he got 30 years is the shit that he did. So the guy that you see that's in a position that you're envious of and or hate, like, oh, well, that fucking guy with the 3 boats and shit. Well, he did shit that you didn't do. Hence why he got the fucking 3 boats. You know what I mean? So I've never been that guy. I don't see it. I don't see how you can continue to do what you've been doing, but you want the result of somebody else that does some other shit. Like, nigga, what is that? You know what I mean? That's like, and no shame at all. No shame at all. No shame at all. But that's like, let's bring it down to health, because health is like that one thing that like so many people are triggered by, but it's the truth. It's like you can't eat shit all day. You can't eat sugar cereal for breakfast, fast food for lunch, snacks, chips, and chocolate all day. And then at night, go and, whether you think it's healthy or not, go to like a restaurant, a common chain restaurant that uses a whole bunch of grease and oil and preservatives and shit like that, and think that you're going to have the same physique as the guy that's eating like 100% organic, goes to the gym twice a fucking day, drinks a gallon of water a day. Like, nigga, please, why are you upset at him? And hence, even the guy that's fit, why are you upset at him? He's never going to reach your results because he's not going to do what it takes to do to get that. So nobody should be mad at themselves. Worry about yourself and the things that you're doing and to put yourself in a position to win. But again, I've never been the guy to look at other people and be envious of their position. If anything, I'm looking at what it is that they did exactly to put, if it's in a position that I want to be in, I say, what did I do? What did they do that I have not, that put them in the position that I kind of want to be in? That's the questions that I ask myself, But with that being said, don't let those thoughts and or those people be your debunker. Don't let those be the people why you stop doing what you're doing. Because more often than not, the reason why they're upset is because the shit that they're missing, they see in you. That shit is truth. More often than not, the shit that they don't like that you're doing is because they wish that they had, or they wish that they could. And they could, but it's the mindset thing. It's the mindset thing. If you're not there mentally, it's tough, dude. You know what I mean? Hence the same thing we were talking about earlier. You know, the weaning on, the weaning off. And that was just another little rant, right? Guys, I'm almost done here, man. And then I'll be off of here. Usually I'm only on here for 30 minutes. Today's 40, but it's only because I decided to draw on here. And maybe that won't be a thing, because this is kind of maybe it slowed down my thought process too much, you know? But this is cool. And I keep it a buck with you, like I said before. You know, I was thinking about doing the North Star, you know what I mean, or doing the compass for today's talk, because that's what today's talk was about, like finding that North Star and you know, doubling down on it. You know, taking that opportunity. You know, another day, another dollar. Well, we all know plenty of people that got plenty, and I'm never gonna be one of those guys either that's gonna talk that crap. That's gonna say like, oh yeah, nah, because you know, if you have money, that doesn't mean happiness. Like, yeah, if you're the rest of your life sucks and you have a couple of bucks, yeah, that's not gonna change your life. Your life's still gonna fucking suck. But if you have a life full of purpose, if you have a life full of joy, if you have a life filled with the things that you actually like to do, again, knowing yourself, self-awareness, North Star, having those hard conversations with yourself. If you're that guy and you end up getting a couple of bucks, more often than not, that's going to amplify all of those good feelings. It's going to make you put your family in the position that you wish you could have been at that age. It's going to make you guys probably eat a little cleaner. You're probably going to get a trainer. You're probably going to live in a better neighborhood. You're probably going to give some money to charity. You're probably going to invest in people that teach others skill sets that are going to put them in a position to win. Because touching back again on maybe the last live that I did, where I cut it short, talking about evolution and how, you know, because of my mindset, a lot of the things that I would do now, I probably wouldn't find fun when I was in my 20s. And the things that I did in my 20s, I probably wouldn't find fun now, but it's just because I'm in a different place and in a different mindset. So that being said, you know, I think more than teaching an actual subject matter, I think what's even more impressive, and I think what would do more good to people, is someone who can put people in the right state of mind to then learn. You know what I mean? So again, staying off the grid, 3844. Whenever you're ready to pull up a profile pic, I would love to see you in the chat again. Besides that, keep getting your hate on. Everybody else that was in the chat, I appreciate you guys very much. My name is Manny Cabrera. The channel is From the Capsule. And the title and topic of today's video was Another Day, Another Dollar. But my interpretation of that, and the message that I'm trying to convey in this video, is that it could be another day, another dollar, or it could be another day, another opportunity. It could be another day, another chance to win at that game that you've been waiting and putting off for so long to get good at. Once again, Manny Cabrera, I am going to show you guys what I got done today. Bang. Pinata. Beat the brakes off of it, man. Find those demons and kill them. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you and enjoy the rest of the evening. Be on the lookout for another 500 or bust. We're about halfway to the 500 subscriber mark. Once I get there, as soon as I get monetization, be sure to put out a long form content video. Might be a live, might be an edited video, but I'm definitely gonna release a image and or a drawing that's going to be a limited release for the first 500 subs. And I'm probably gonna put together some type of raffle and or sweepstakes where I'm gonna be giving away about 5 shirts. Okay. Once again, I appreciate you guys very much and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.